Happy Monday, happy Monday. I hope everybody is having a productive week, starting off their week and getting straight to the bag. Okay, so a lot of people in the group, when we first started, I asked you a series of questions, and one of the questions was, do you understand the difference between a credit score and the credit report? And it was 50-50. Some people understood the difference, some people didn't. And that could be the biggest factor. It is the biggest factor on why certain things are not coming along, certain things not happening into your life, or why you're getting denied, or why you can't get approved for things, why they won't let you in this apartment complex, why you can't get this mortgage, why you can't get this vehicle. They start needing an economy car. You want the $20,000 car, the $30,000 car, but you only can start off in the $10,000 to $15,000. The report is the major factor. Before we get into the rest of the information, we're gonna go through my ebook. I'm gonna tell you a little small story. So if you don't know, I'm a barber. I've been a barber now for 12, 13 years, right? So I ask a lot of questions and I hold a lot of deep conversations with people. And I had a conversation with this white guy one day, still actually one of my clients today. And he just was telling me how he was getting approved of things. So I'm like, so you got approved for a $20,000 loan. What's your credit score? He was like 680. I was like, a 680? Shit, I got a 720. Well, I know I'm about to get approved. So I went and applied for the same loan and got denied. And if you don't take time to read the fine print and read the emails or the mail when they send it to you, you'll never know why you get denied. You just get frustrated and it's like, man, it's a black and white thing, or they don't want to see the black man win and blah, blah, blah. That's my ignorance and how I played the card. That's definitely not the factor. The fact is that on his report, 9 times out of 10, he had lower usage on his debt. 9 times out of 10, he had more history. 9 times out of 10, he had more accounts. With more accounts, that show that you have engagement with more people and more lenders, so that you actually are more of the go-to person. I don't mind giving this guy money because he don't did business with so many different people that I know he's good for. You know what I mean? If you only got one vehicle and one credit card, now you trying to go get a $30,000 loan, you might not get it because they don't trust you yet. You have to build trust with lenders, right? So I want to go over the information that's actually in the ebook so that you can have a better understanding on where your credit report needs to be. Your credit report is the gut, the inside, and it's going to show on the outside and reflect as your score. Your score is only one factor. You can have a 750 and have 2 credit cards and a car. That doesn't mean you have a good score. It's a good score, but it's not a good report overall. So we're about to go into the ebook, and I'm just going to go over some things that's in the ebook if you haven't already looked at it, and so you can understand a little bit more on what's going on. So let's flip over the screen and get that. All right, so we're back. And we're right here in this section. If you scroll down, you're going to see this, how credit reporting works. Credit reporting works like this. Step 1, credit scores are used by lenders to make decisions about whether or not to offer you credit. Step 2, when creditors and lenders check your credit, they're likely to do so with one of the major credit reporting agencies, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. These 3 agencies retain information on more than 2 million Americans. The data the Bureau has in your credit file is used to calculate your credit score. Your credit scores are determined by 5 major factors. Now, when we come to these 5 major factors, you have your payment history. Your payment history is 35% of your score. How you pay things on time reflects on who you are as a person and your credit report. So from here on out, make sure, like literally, invest in yourself before you invest in others, right? That's the name of the game. So you always want to pay down your personal debt. You always want to pay on your debt, even if you're paying the bare minimum. When you start accumulating these credit cards, if you can't pay down to the 30%, which I recommend you always pay under 10, keep it around 9. If you can't do that, pay the bare minimum, because you don't want to go over the 90 days and get those late payments. Because then you have to worry about, like myself, going and finding the right dispute letters. I'm sending out dispute letters once a month, trying to get them to not authorize, what's the word I'm looking for? Show proof that I paid on these late payments, and 9 times out of 10, I can't get around that yet, but we still fighting. That's the whole name of the game. That's why the ones that took action now, you in the Facebook group and you're actually starting your dispute, go ahead and start disputing now, because it takes time for some of these things, right? So it's a battle between you and the credit bureau. So you want to keep sending out these dispute letters until you get them to make their mistake. When you get them to make their mistake, boom, that's when you got the upper hand, the advantage. And your debt usage. Your debt usage is 30% of your score. Basically what I just was saying. You got a credit card of $1,000. By the time it's time to pay on your card, you have a due date, then you have a report date. On your due date, you want to pay at least the bare minimum, right? Due date, pay your bare minimum. By the time of report, if you could put a few more dollars to it, and that's the report date is probably 3 to 5 days after your due date. If you could put more money to it, that's when it's actually going to report to the bureaus. That's cool. But on your due date, you always want to pay bare minimum. That's why I recommend people put your cards on auto pay so it automatically comes out your bank account and you pay on these things. You do not want to get these late payments, because that's 35% and your debt usage is 30%. Your age of your credit account. The age of your credit account is the history. You want to, like, when you start doing funding, and it's okay if you don't have over the 5 years, which they're going to be looking for, because we got trade lines. See, now they done picked up on the trick of you trying to get a trade line to show that you have a higher card limits. You can add trade lines of $25,000, $30,000. That's not going to help. What's the history on it, right? So if you have no history, we got cards with 25,000 over 25 years and 10 years that can boost your history up. If you go to my middleman mentor, we got the first YouTube video I put out when I'm showing you renter's report, and that's giving you 2-year history. Then you add a trade line of 10, 15 years, you'll have the 5 years. So don't trip on that, but that's 15% of your score. So you want to have good history. You want to show that you've been paying off debt and you've been having good credit utilization, good history with paying on things like for 5 years. And that's when the game gonna change. How many accounts do you have? You need to at least have 10 accounts, and that's 10% of your credit report. Like I was telling you earlier, if you only got 2 credit cards, or you got an unsecured card and a car loan, okay, yeah, you're building on credit, but you need to have more. You need to have more accounts. People want to see that you've been doing business with multiple people and you've been paying these things off, or you're still paying it off on time. They want to see these type of things. And that's 10% of your score. And your inquiries, your number of inquiries, that's another 10%. And that brings the whole 100% of the credit wheel. And I'm going to show you another some more information in a minute so you can see that too. But you want to have 2 to 3 inquiries on each bureau: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. If you have more than 3 within 6 months to a year, you look credit thirsty. You look like you're looking for credit because you're trying to get yourself out of debt, or you're trying to get some money, and they want to know why you want money so bad. So when we do our funding runs and we put ourselves in the position, I'm going to show you how you're going to get high limit credit cards and more than 1 or 2 all at the same time, so that when they do hit, you already have everything out the way. Then you can just wait out the 1 or 2 years, but you'll have the $50,000, $60,000 that I'm telling you about. We have techniques on how we do things so we can get what we want, and then when they figure it out, it's cool. Like if you get a car, if you go to the dealership and you get a car, they're gonna shoot your report. You're gonna end up with like 16 inquiries. When I got my first 2 cars recently for my Turo business, I ended up with like 16 inquiries because I didn't even play the game like I was supposed to play and go to my banks and go get the car loans. I was in a rush. I wanted to go ahead and start the business. I don't recommend that, and I messed around and got 16 inquiries. But in future videos, apologies. In future videos, I'm going to go over the phone calls that I have with these people to get all these inquiries off. Because if I went to Toyota, let's say I went to Toyota and I purchased my vehicle, I shouldn't have other banks on my report. I let Toyota, when I signed off my report, everything else was illegal. Seriously, you gotta know these things. But over time, and as we grow into this community, we're gonna learn these. But that makes the 100% of the report, right? So let me put a visual on it. Truth. Now we go to, I'm pretty sure when you got into your report and you uploaded your report, you've seen a lot of inaccurate and misleading information. And 1 in 5 people find errors in their credit report. Credit report mistakes can lead to disqualification for mortgage and car loans, as well as increased insurance premiums and interest rates. In some cases, those mistakes can even prevent you from getting a job. 78% of consumers who dispute credit report errors were successful in removing them. Now let's dive into the process of how to improve your credit. Basically, what the truth is, those misleading and those mistakes and those errors are holding you up from what you're trying to do in life. Long story short, they did give me a little hassle, even though I have a strong report with getting my cars, right? And I think my report at the time was right at a 700. Since then, I kept disputing, kept cleaning things up, kept fighting things and getting more things off. Now I'm getting letters in the mail on refinancing. It's other banks now that's seeing my report and seeing my score and wants to refinance because they want to take on that bill, and they'll give me a lower interest rate that's going to lower my car payments, and they want to take on that bill because they see that I'm that go-to guy. I'm a trustworthy individual, and they know I'm going to pay them. So they don't mind taking the bill from them and taking it on to themselves and giving me a lower interest rate. And even recently, my car insurance dropped $150. $150 just because I fixed my credit. So just because you're not taking the time to fix your credit, your car insurance, your premium is as high as it is because of how it reflects on your report. So take time to put these disputes out, put yourself in a different position, and you're going to see the growth. All right. So everything that I was going over, this is how your report, the guts, should look. You keep fighting these disputes and you see where your weakness at, and you keep fighting it until you get your report to what you see right here. Your payment history, you want to get that to 100%, right? Me personally, mine's at 98%. As soon as the pandemic hit, I was on some, oh, the world's going like, I really was on some ignorant stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm showing, I need proof of, I need you to show me that I had a late payment. I'm doing that once a month, and they are on time, you know, because I'm dealing with 2 credit card bureaus. But I'm going to keep fighting. Every month, I'm sending out these disputes. Your credit card utilization, you see how they got 6%. 9 to 10% is going to reflect the same way as 6%. After your 10%, you're going from the 11 to 30%. That's a neutral ground. 11 to 30% is a neutral ground. It doesn't affect it negative nor positive. It's just a neutral ground. But if you have it under 10%, it's going to positively affect it. Do anything you can do to positively affect your credit score. You always want to have your credit score in a positive. After 30%, you're starting to affect your credit score on a negative, right? After 30%, you're affecting your score on a negative. Derogatories, that's collections and things that you didn't pay for. You want to get that down to zero derogatories. When it comes to collections, okay, you went to the hospital. The hospital legally can't put that on your report, so they sell it to a collection agency, right? But the thing about that is the collection agency can't report it either. So in these dispute letters that we're sending out, because we want you to verify this information and how we doing it. If you're going through the credit is gold, how we backdating it, then we're using the CFPB to fight it, you should be getting the results that you're looking for to get these collections off your report. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really works. I cleaned up and swept multiple people's report. I swept my own report. It works if you go to the ebook and utilize the tools that I'm providing for you. Like this thing, it really works. You know, it's smooth. You know what I mean? So collections is really not that hard to get off. I don't got off somebody $15,000 collection, a $10,000 collection. You know what I mean? So it's not as hard as you think. You just have to word your disputes the right way and do it the right way. And the cool thing about our software is the dispute letters generate themselves, correct? If y'all took time to go up there, you don't have to write out these dispute letters. The only thing you do is you generate it, and then when you go view it, you're going to go to the top and you want to backdate it. Backdate it 2 weeks from when you actually file your dispute. That's all you have to do, right? And I'm going to put some more information. If you don't have a printer or you don't have time, I got some other things in the software that I'm working on, but as soon as they give me the accessibility to get to everybody's report and profile, I'll be able to run your mail your disputes for you. So that's coming soon, right? Then we got the age of the report. See how they got 5 years, 9 months. You want to have over 5 years on your history. But like I say, that's really the only time you want to buy trade lines. You want to buy trade lines when you need history, not because you're trying to get higher limit cars and you think you're getting a $25,000 car limit on off a trade line is going to help you. That's not accurate. And no, it was maybe a few years ago, but with this credit game, you have to stay up to date with it. And that's why I'm trying to grow this community. Not even trying, that's why we're growing this community, because we want to keep each other up to date on all the credit information, on how they're changing things on a day-to-day basis, week to week, month to month. Like the way I did my last inquiry removal through the phone was not the same when I did it recently to get prepared for my funding run. They wanted different data. They wanted different information. Instead of the FTC alpha date, they wanted me to add an FTC report. So it's going to be changing, and they're going to put you through like little mazes, because, okay, how bad do they really want to fix their credit? Or if I put this extra task in front of them where they go through doing it, they don't want to see you win. Here we're going to win. We're going to go the extra mile, the extra step. Okay, you want an FTC report? I have it there for you tomorrow, right? Because when I hear the news, I'm going to update my information to make sure I have that FTC report for you. And all the stuff you're looking for is in the file section in this group, this private group, all right? So let's go to total accounts. You see with the total accounts, I got 17 accounts. You want to have more than 10. Well, 17 accounts, that means you've been doing good business with individuals for a little while, and you built up accounts and you built up data. The 17 accounts, that's good data, right? I say you need to have at least 10, but 17 accounts is good data. This is how you want your profile to look. You can go through the ID club, and they basically giving you, they don't make it look like this. But I recommend you download Credit Karma, because you're going to see your TransUnion, your Equifax just like this. And then get your Experian.com. So it's not going to look like this, but it's basically like your ID club that you already have. And you'll be able to see how many accounts that you have. Just count your accounts. You'll be able to see your history. You'll be able to see your derogatories. And when you generate the report to your dispute letters, it's going to show you in the red what's your collections anyway. Everything red means it need to go, unless we're doing a funding run and we don't want to get rid of certain inquiries. Now we go to hard inquiries, and it say 2. You don't want to have more than 3. 2 to 3 is okay, but within how long? What's the time span? You know, if you got 2 to 3, but the last 2 that you had 6 months, well, 5 months, wait another month. Make sure it's 6 months before you go out there and you do anything. After you do a funding run, or you go get a car, or you go get a mortgage, anything like that, you want to wait a while and let that thing season before you try to go get any more credit, right? They don't want you to be credit thirsty. They don't want you to be out here asking this one person for $20,000, the next person for $20,000. You want to be strategic on how you do everything, right? So when you get to the point where you have everything in order, I have the secret lender. If you went through the file section, you see the secret lender list. And that's letting you know what type of report you need, what type of score you need to have. But this is the report that you should be looking to obtain. Then it goes back to the score, because if you have this right here, but you're still showing a 680, a 690, that is strong. Don't think your credit score is not strong. That's a strong score. So now when you go to the secret lenders and you add it up and you see who they pulling from, then you'll know, okay, I got TransUnion, let's say like this. TransUnion, I got 1 inquiry. Experian, I got 2 inquiries. And Equifax, I got 3. So when I go do my funding run, I'm only going to get 1 credit card with Equifax, because I already got 3. And it might go through, might not, but it depends on the 6 months to a year. When the last time did you do anything with Equifax, right? Then you got Experian, I said you had 2. So you can run the 2 plays with Experian. With TransUnion, we're going to try to find the secret lenders that I can go to TransUnion. They're going to pull from TransUnion. I'm going to try to get like 3 from them. So that's 4 to 5 different cards, I believe. And depending on your credit card utilization that you already have, if you have any cards over $5,500, you're going to be getting $55,000 to $10,000 cards. 9 times out of 10 you got here because you seen what I already accomplished with this credit game. I got over $60,000 to $70,000 in funding already. My next funding run between us that's in the group is going to probably clear $100,000. I'm a barber. I make in the last 12 years $45,000 to $55,000 a year. My first funding run, I made $30,000, and that was in 2 weeks. So you ask yourself, do you want to keep working for a year and getting a raise, 25 cents, 50 cents a year, or start working on your credit score, get the funding that you need to start a business, to scale in on your business, to get your mortgage, to get your auto loan, and not having to pay back $15,000 to $20,000 in interest because they don't trust you. Put yourself in a position where these people can trust you, right? So you can start believing in yourself. Then you go out there and start that business that you always want to start and pay yourself, right? Stop taking the 25 and 50 cents when you can be working on your credit report, taking action, and every 6 months you can be increasing your lines of credit by thousands. This is just the beginning of what we're doing here, guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying my best. As you can see, I got a few little stuttering situations in here. You know what I mean? But I'm providing you with information that I'm pretty sure some of y'all didn't know. So as we all growing together, right, taking this thing to the next level, that's each one teach one. In this group right here, I don't know everything. I'm just the middleman. My YouTube is Middleman Mentor, right? So if you learned something and you feel like it's some information that you need to provide to the community, put it in the chat. Let the next man know what it is to win. What I'm telling you is I've obtained $60,000 in funding already using these tools I'm providing to you, and I want to see you do the same thing. Until the next video, which I think we're going to go over just how you do the disputes, I'm going to drop that either tomorrow or Wednesday for you. For some of y'all that need to visually see something to take action, I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do your disputes, how easy it is to do your disputes, and maybe that'll help you take action. But from here on out, you should know the difference between a credit score and your credit report. Let's stay GT approved.